for your hands to grab the wheel of a current generation Charger or Challenger. The last call for your foot to feel the rumble. And the last call for your heart to leap into your throat. Get yours before they're gone.
Hi everybody, this is Ral Hellcat back at you again with another cool video. Today in New Jersey, a little bit of a cloudy day, a little bit overcast day. Perfect day to do mods outside because you're not getting blistered by the sun. Nice day, not too hot, not too cold. Perfect day, perfect weather to do some cool mods. Finally, we're going to do some more mods to the Durango Hellcat. We have the Dodge Durango Hellcat in the driveway, and we're going to be doing more mods. As you well know, we've only done a couple of mods so far. We've done the WeatherTech mats, which is, I don't know, people are going to say, hey, that's not really a mod, blah, blah, blah. But that was my first modification to the Dodge Durango Hellcat that wasn't stock. And my second mod, as you well know, is the Lux tint. We did the Lux tint in the back, taillight tint, side marker tint, and we actually were able to get the mirror tint in there. If you watched the end of that video, you got to see that. If you didn't watch the end of the video, then you wouldn't know that. Okay, so I don't want to digress any further, but definitely, if you haven't already seen some of the modifications we've done with the Dodge Durango Hellcat, please check out those videos. The WeatherTech video where we did the cargo liner, the floor liner, and the floor liner 2.0. There's actually 3 videos on the WeatherTech stuff, and then we did the video on the Lux tint. Now we're going to dive into some really cool mods under the hood. That's why the Dodge Durango Hellcat is facing forward in the driveway. We're going to be doing some engine mods, not engine mods, but we're going to do mods in the engine bay. And you know, you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. It's Billet Technology time. Billet Technology time. Billet Technology time. You know that we did this before in the Trackhawk, and we did this before in the Charger Hellcat, and it's a staple for whatever you do. Anytime you have a Hemi, a Mopar Hemi needs one of these in under the hood, definitely is a must. Now, what I did with the Dodge Durango Hellcat was I wanted to wait until the first oil change. After the first oil change, then we can put this modification in there. So we're going to be doing the exact same thing we did before. Where we waited till the first oil change after the Trackhawk. We waited till the first oil change after the Charger Hellcat. And now we've waited till the first oil change for the Dodge Durango Hellcat. Now we can do this modification, which is the oil catch can, and it's from Billet Technology. So my advice to you as far as an oil catch can is just do it. Hemi, 6.4 liter Hemi, 5.7 liter Hemi, then the 6.2 liter supercharged Hemi is a must to have an oil catch can. Basically what it does is it captures all of the exhaust oils that may be recirculating into the engine. So basically what happens is some of the residue oil from burn off is going to go up into the intake manifold, go back into the cylinder heads, and it'll naturally burn off, but you don't want that. You don't want to foul your plugs. You don't want this excess oil vapor getting into the system, and that's basically what an oil catch can does. It gets rid of the oil vapor, puts it in a catch can, and then you can remove it yourself after each oil change. And that's why I waited to the first oil change, because again, during the break-in period, I don't want to put an oil catch can on it, and of course we want to wait till the first oil change, so this way it'll give us a guide as to when we should empty the oil catch can. It should be done after every single oil change. So now, as far as the oil catch can is concerned, it's a must. But what I choose, when it comes to brand, I'm going to choose Billet Technology every single time. You can choose other brands. I know there are other brands out there that do just as good a job. But my thing is what Billet Tech is. It's simple, it's easy, it looks great, it's functional, and I think it's one of the original companies that did oil catch cans. So why not go with the best? I think Billet Technology is the best for an oil catch can. Like I said, other companies do make the oil catch cans, and I'm sure they, for the purposes of having one, it does a great job. But again, Billet Technology is #1 in my book, and that's what I'm going to be using. But the long story short to a oil catch can is this: better to have one than to not. So no matter what company you use, definitely have one versus not having one. Again, I'm still going to recommend Billet Technology. So what are we going to do today? We're going to do it for the Dodge Durango Hellcat. Now we're going to be doing it a little bit differently today. It's a little bit of a different video than you're accustomed to seeing, because as you well know, I bought a brand new oil catch can when we got the Charger Hellcat, and I bought a brand new oil catch can when we got the Trackhawk. But in this case, because I no longer have the Charger Hellcat, and the oil catch can was taken off the Charger Hellcat, you saw that video, or did I post that video? It might have been a reverse mod that we haven't done yet, but I'll show that video shortly. When we have some downtime in the winter months, that's when I'll post the reverse mods of the Charger Hellcat. Originally, I was going to do them in the fall, and I decided we have too many things going on right now. Got to enjoy the Dodge Durango Hellcat to the point where we just didn't have time to post those videos up. So we have a reverse mod where I took the oil catch can off the Charger Hellcat, and we're actually going to refurb it a little bit because I found a little bit of rust, just a little bit of rust on one of the bolts. And me, with my OCD, ADD, whatever you want to call it, I just didn't want that rust to remain. So we're going to do a little refurb job on the oil catch can, and then we're going to install the oil catch can that was used for the Charger Hellcat. We're just going to put it into the Dodge Durango because it's the exact same setup, exact same engine, and we're going to be doing the exact same thing. So without further ado, let's get started. First of all, I'm going to pop the hood real quick. I'm going to show you what we're dealing with, and then I'll bring out the oil catch can. I'm going to show you what you do with that, and then the last final step, we're going to install that bad boy. So join me. Without further ado, let's get started. All right, let's take a look at that Hemi. Hellcat engine in a Durango. It's awesome. Never to be seen before. 2021's the only year, and I have it. It's awesome. It's freaking fantastic. Love it. So let me just give you a quick rundown as to what it looks like right now and where we're going to put the oil catch can and go to the next steps. Okay, now we're looking under the hood of the Dodge Durango Hellcat, and here it is. It's completely stock. We haven't done anything yet under the hood. So here it is in its glory. We have the supercharger with the Hellcat logo on it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We have our fuse box. We have our PCM with a cover on it. That's pretty cool. I hope Billet Technologies comes up with a cover for that. We have our supercharger coolant reservoir. We have our original stock intake, which is going to be replaced by the leg maker, which is a future mod. And of course, we have all of the goodies that are underneath the engine, including the fact that it's standard pulleys. We're not going to be changing those out. We have a brake reservoir. So again, love it, love it, love it. Completely stock, but this is what we're going to be doing on this video. So here we go. This is where it's going to go. The oil catch can is going to mount right here on this bolt. So basically, I'm not even going to loosen this nut. It's just going to be sliding right on here, and I have another nut that's going to go right on top of this area here. This bolt is perfect for that. It's the way it was designed. The other thing that's really nice is that it's going to be a little bit offset. It's not going to impede and get in the way of this. And then of course, one of the hoses is going to go up in here into the valve cover, and the other one is going to go in from the supercharger. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to take oil vapor that may come from the valve cover, and instead of it going back into the intake to burn off, we're going to catch it in the oil catch can, and that is going to be a safety thing for your engine, safety thing for the supercharged Hemi V8. And again, it's just a win-win-win situation. So first and foremost, this is where it's going to be mounted. This is where it's going to go. I'm going to set up the camera right here. We're going to show you step by step on how to do that. But before we do that, let's refurb the current oil catch can, fix that up, get it ready to install. Okay, so we have our Billet Technologies oil catch can taken right from the Dodge Charger Hellcat. So here it is. There's the branding, Billet Technologies. Looking awesome, looking great, looking fantastic. It still has the hoses on here and the fitting. So what I did was, let me just give you a rundown as to, if you're looking for an oil catch can and you want to know which one I have and you want to do the same thing, well, this is the satin finish. They make it in different finishes. They make it satin, polished, all these different colors. They do destroyer gray, F8 green, B5 blue, you can red, Tor red, Go mango, all these different colors, or you can just go with the standard. They do anodized, copper colored. I mean, there's so many different options. Go on billettechnologies.com. I will post the link in the description as to where you can go and purchase your own oil catch can, which is actually perfect because we're getting very, very close to the people's sale. Want to get this in here before the people's sale takes place. But in any case, This is the oil catch can, and the couple options that I went with was, I went with the braided look hose. I mean, it's not a braided hose, but it's the braided look hose. So that's a little bit extra, but it's definitely worth getting because it looks awesome. I went with the brass fittings connected to the oil catch can. They are standard, so it's going to be brass that looks sort of like this color here, this fitting here. There was no option to change this, so this is what it would have looked like. This is not going to even be seen, you won't see this, but this is what the brass fitting would look like, and I didn't want the brass fittings to be exposed here. I'd rather it be black, so you have to pay a little bit extra for the black fittings. The other thing I did was I got the covers here for the hose, and basically it just covers up the fitting a little bit more, and I like the fact that I wanted it to match. So this is the satin fittings covers, hose covers for the oil catch can setup. So again, you got your basic oil catch can. The satin finish is included in the price. All the other finishes you have to pay extra for. I didn't do any special engraving. This is the standard engraving, so I didn't do anything different on that. I didn't do any type of etchings or anything like that. It's all the standard stuff. But because I went with the standard oil catch can, doesn't cost anything more, I did go with a few of the options to really make it look nice overall. So braided hoses were extra, and then you could go with no fittings whatsoever, or you can go with what I did was I went with satin finish fittings, and you can do any color. So if you went with a destroyer gray, you can have destroyer gray fittings. You can have not fittings, but the covers. They basically call them hose ends, so it's nothing too fancy. So you have the fittings, so you can go with powder coated fitting. I believe you can also do a nickel plated fitting, or you can go with just the brass. And then you can have the ends. The billet ends are optional. I believe they're like $25 or $30 each. So you have the braided lines. You could go, like I said, you could go polished, or different finishes range for like $25 and up, and I believe the painted ones are an extra $70, and the billet catch can's about $150. So overall, yeah, I could have bought another one. This whole package, as you see it, was a little over $230 between the standard oil catch can and all the options. But again, there's no reason to get a new one if this one's going to fit perfectly, which it will. And then, of course, let me just unscrew this real quick, and you'll see how it's still in perfect shape. Now, it still has a little oil in there, and that's by intent. I did that deliberately because I wanted to have some oil in the threads, which is, again, another intent, because you want to do a little oiling when you do that. And this way it doesn't bind and it won't stick, and it'll be easy because you just want to hand tighten this. You don't want to over tighten it because you're going to be hand tightening it, and then you're going to be hand loosening it because you don't want to ruin the finish if you use a wrench or some other tool. So you just basically want to use your hands. And if you have to, if you feel more comfortable, every like few hundred miles, you want to go underneath of course, when it's cold. You want to do when it's hot. You can just give it a nice big snug if you think it's going to be loose. It's not going to come off. Definitely has never come off for me, and it won't be. Don't want to over tighten this. That's one thing you don't want to do. And then last but not least, this is what I wanted to show you before. This is a nut that connects the mounting rod to the oil catch can, and basically this has gotten a little bit on the rusty side. They say it's a defect. They said in order to prevent this from happening in the future, you should use some WD-40 on. I didn't know that at the time, so basically my bad. I guess it is what it is, but it did rust. But this is the thing. I'll show you one more time. So it did a little rust, and I asked them. I said, you know, I called Nick and Heidi at Billet Technology, very supportive, very gracious. They know me, I know them. If you ever deal with Nick or Heidi and you say Ral Hellcat sent you, if you tell them Ral Hellcat sent you, they know exactly who Ral Hellcat is. There was the People Sale one year, and there was the Wheel of Winning. I won the Wheel of Winning. I think it was either a year ago or 2 years ago. I won the Wheel of Winning, and basically, yes, they know exactly who Ral Hellcat is, and that's why when I actually gave them a quick email and let them know, hey, this is rusting. What do I do with it? Because I didn't know how to get it out or how to clean it. I said to them, I could send it to you, you could refurb it for me, or is there a way that I can do it myself? I'd be more than happy to do it myself. If you teach me how to do it, I could try it, give it a shot. If it doesn't work, it works great. If it doesn't work, then I'll send it back to you. You can refurb it for me, or I'd have to break down and buy a new one, which I didn't want to do. And they basically said, we'll send you, this is a defect. They identified it, and they believe they fixed it with the new equipment, but the new oil catch cans won't do this. But in order to prevent it from happening, use a little WD-40. So what they did was they sent me a new nut. Basically, all I have to do is take this nut out and put the new one in. I don't have to Loctite or anything like that. So let me just pull out what they sent me. So basically, this is the nut. So this is the nut that we're going to be replacing. So we're going to do that real quick. All right. This is the nut. And then what we're going to do is we need a, well, it's an Allen. If you want to know what the type of head this is a hex. It's not a Torx. It's not a Torx head. It's a hex. And basically what I did was I actually had in my toolbox, not really a whole bunch of Allen wrenches. I actually had an Allen tool. And this, ironically enough, not everyone's going to be as lucky as me, but in my toolbox, there are various sizes of these Allen wrench keys. And this is the biggest one. So if it didn't fit this, I would be delayed in doing this project. But nonetheless, it actually was my biggest one, and it fits. And it's perfect. Fits perfect. All right, so you know what we're doing now. You know why we're doing it. We're taking the oil catch can from the Charger Hellcat. We're going to install it onto the Dodge Durango Hellcat. Very easy to fix. Very easy to install. And without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so we have the oil catch can in my hand. We have the wrench in my other hand. And then we're just going to take this, and we're going to do lefty loosey, righty tighty. And this was snug before, so let me just get this going here. Righty loosey, lefty tighty. That's no, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So we're going to do lefty loosey. And wow, that came off pretty easily. All right. So it's now loose. Okay, now that it's loose, we're just going to take this, spin it around here. Let me just put this down because we don't want to drop it. All right, and there it is. So for the most part, it's just, it's just rust around this area here. I'm going to clean this up. And then without further ado, we're going to install this back on here. I'll show you exactly what we need to do to install it. So we're not going to Loctite or anything like that. So let me just put this down real quick. So this is what it looks like. This is behind the scenes. I don't think anyone else is going to be able to show you this, but that's what that looks like there. But that's so it doesn't fall. All right. Let me clean this up a little bit. And I think what we're going to also do is there was some oil that I wanted to use real quick. All right, so I'm going to get some oil. I'm going to put some oil on this because I really want to get this coated. So I'll be right back with that. That came out perfect. All right, so basically I squirt a little oil in there. I didn't have WD-40 handy. It's too buried in my garage. So let me get the nut, the new nut. And basically it's not going to be too hard to know where to put it because it's going to be, you can't get it reversed, right? You can't reverse it, so we know that. And it's just going to be straight up and down. So it's going to be dead even with the oil catch can. So it's pretty easy. We'll get this started. Again, we're going to put this down like this. Just take your time. You don't want to strip it. Alright, that looks good. Then we're just going to tighten it up. Let me get my wrench. I'll notice it one more time. I had it aligned and then it moved just a slight tick. It keeps wanting to move a little bit. Let's get it so it doesn't do that again. Yeah, that's the tick. That didn't work. Do this again. Okay, just tighten it one more time. And I'll check this periodically again. All right, I think we got it. So it is perfectly straight. So as you can see, perfectly straight. Perfectly straight. Surgery is over. So this is before and this is after. So Nick and Heidi, if you're watching this video, I'm going to send this video to you. Nick and Heidi, you can see how it was successful. So without further ado, let's install it. Now it looks brand spanking new again. No more rust, no more ugliness. And I got to do, and obviously I got to do the same thing with the Trackhawk. They only sent me one bolt. So Nick and Heidi, if you can send me that second bolt, I already sent you an email. You probably didn't get it yet, but because it's Sunday. Definitely, when you read your email on Monday, send me another bolt on it, because this one's successful. I want to do the same thing with the Trackhawk. This one's done, so let me put this away. And then this is all ready to be installed. So now we're going to flip the camera over here. We're going to go over the steps as to what we're going to do to get the fittings ready for install. We're going to put this off to the side real quick because we don't need this right now. And then without further ado, we're going to install this bad boy. So we're going to flip the camera around and here we go. Okay, so the camera's in perfect position to do this project. So the first step that we want to do is, you don't have to take it completely out. You just have to loosen it a little bit and get it out of the way. Yeah, this another hose here. Let's see, let me move the camera over. So basically what we're going to do is going to be two steps here. We're going to remove this fitting here, because this is the original hose, and we're going to remove it right here. So this is where the oil catch can is going to plug in here and here, but we need to remove this hose. This is the hose that's going to be taken off and replaced by the oil catch can hoses. So let's get started. This one's a little bit tricky. This one's easier because this one is a push button. And it's funny because they have two different fittings. One you have to slide, one you have to push. This one's the slidey one. You slide it, that comes right out. So there's a little, I'll show you the buttons in a minute. So I slid that out, that's already out. And then you push this one to get this one out. You push it. And then this one's gonna come out. And that one's out. Okay, so I pushed it, it's loosened. So now we're gonna do the next step and just pull them out. That came out. Oh, this one clicked back in. I didn't want to do that, but that's what happened. And I'll just push button it in. All right, we'll put this back because I don't want to have any tension. All right, we just reinstalled it. Didn't want to do that either. All right, that pops out. This slides out, and then we're just going to do it. This push button. Come on. There we go. That came out. This is out. All right, so we're out. So this, again, this is a push button. So you just push this button in, and that'll come out. And then this is the slidey one. So you just push this in, and that pulls out. So it's weird how the fittings are different on both sides, but you push that out, and this pushes out like that, and it gets your one hose out, and this pushes in like that. You see how that works here? See how it expands? So that's how that works. And then this one, you move that expands again. Let's see. You move that, and that expands the outside. So that's it. This is going to be stored for if we ever have to, God forbid, the day that we have to trade this in for something else is the day that we trade this in for maybe a Durango Red Eye. But this is going to be stored. We're going to put this away, and now we're going to be installing the oil catch can. Okay, so there are three pieces that I have to worry about. Put our oil catch can off to the side right here. So basically what we're gonna do, let me move this over, and I'll show you the pieces. All right, so we'll move this over here. Okay, the camera is now in position. So now let's go over the 3 pieces that we're gonna be using in order which to install this. So this comes from the kit from Billet Technology. First we have our lock washer, and then we have our nut. And those 2 things are gonna, again, we're gonna mount the oil catch can on this bolt that's right here. The oil catch can is gonna go on first. The mounting pole that we just reinstalled and retightened up is gonna mount here. And then we're gonna put our lock washer on top of the mount for the oil catch can. And then we're going to put the nut that's right on top. So that nut's gonna be on top. And then we're gonna be tightening it with our 17mm wrench. And because you have this is a closed end, opened end on this side here. Oh. And because the belt is in the way, I wouldn't use a socket wrench with this unless you have a long one. You'd have to have a 17mm long socket in which to do it. I don't have one, so I'm gonna use the wrench here. So, and this is probably not recommended either. I'm gonna use the open end. It's not that difficult. A couple of twists and it's installed. So without further ado, let's get started. In case you're wondering again, 17mm is what you want. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first step, take your oil catch can. Okay, so we're gonna go to this camera angle first because I wanna show you how to install the first hose. We're gonna install the first hose first. That's gonna install here because this is where we're gonna be installing the bracket, and I don't wanna mess this up. So this is the best place to put it. You wanna do that one first. It's gonna go straight on, so let me do that install first. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, that's in. Pretty easy, snaps right in. And now, what we're gonna do in this other angle, let me switch angles here. Okay, now from this angle, I'm gonna slide this in. And then basically what you wanna do is you wanna make sure that it's perfectly straight. In fact, what we'll also do too, is we're gonna install this up top, get that in there. So basically you wanna move this out of the way. All right, so the next step is you wanna push this down in on top of this. This little hose is in the way, so you just push that over just a little bit. And that clicks right in, so that's installed. This is installed. So again, we have this hose here, it's installed, this hose here that's installed, and now we just have to get that mounting bracket tight, and we're good to go. Okay, so now that step is done, and the last and final step is we're going to mount our nut here. So we're going to put the washer here, and then we're going to screw on our nut. You can hand tighten it until it's sort of tight. And then like I said, because you're going to have the oil catch can in the way, if you have a deep socket, that's great. That would have worked well for this. Actually, you didn't need a deep socket. All you needed was a long, not a deep socket, I'm sorry, extension. So if you have a regular socket and an extension, you can just put it in like that. Or if you're like me, it just has this open-ended wrench, it's very easy to do. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna try to do the extension. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can't do it with the extension because I have an idea and I think it'll work. Yeah, you're gonna laugh at me. So basically, you could do the open-ended wrench, or you could do this. I actually, for Christmas, I forgot all about this. I got new DeWalt set. So I got a 17mm long socket. I have an extension here. So we're just gonna do it that way. So this is the setup. Again, you have options, right? So this is the option that we're gonna go with. So ready, tidy. So basically you wanna get this in there like so. In fact, I don't even think I need the extension. Let me see. Let's see if I don't need the extension real quick. because I keep forgetting. This is the, here's a fun fact. When I did this with the Charger. You could not do this, right? You cannot do this at all on a Charger or a Challenger. So that is why I recommend the open-ended wrench. So this is the tool that you need to use if you have a Charger or Challenger. If you have a Durango Hellcat or a Trackhawk, you have so much room in the front here. I can get a socket like this up in here, and it'll fit perfectly, and I have plenty of room to work. So basically, we're going to tighten this up. You want to make sure that this is totally straight. Just adjust. Again, you don't want to over tighten anything. You don't want to break anything. Just enough so it doesn't move. All right, I think that's good enough. Doesn't want to move. The lock washer's in. It's not going to loosen. It's perfectly straight. Yep. It might be just a little bit off. See, I got the OCD going here. So I just want to make sure it's perfectly straight. Just a hair off. There we go. Tighten that up again. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. That's the ticket. All right, we're good. It's on there. It's not going to move. Now I can show you the final product. So let's do that. Show you the final product, and then after that we'll do final thoughts. So here it is. We have our install, and this is how I was talking about before. See how that, you just basically want to have it even with the supercharger. If you do that, you're good to go. You know that it's straight. It's as straight as it's going to get. And again, you can always make an adjustment. So again, this is where the nut is. If you ever want to adjust it, you always want to make sure this fitting is going to be tight. This fitting is tight. Make sure nothing's loose. The tension from the hoses kind of keeps everything in place. So even if this is not as locked in as, say, the original, it's locked in from a vacuum standpoint, it's good to go. And it's also good to go from the pressure of the hose in the install. So you can see how it's really going to look nice. Now, this brass fitting is not showing, but the way you do that is you just move this over. Let's put this back into place. Let me put this here. That there, just basically move the cover over. Goes right back into place. You can barely see it. Now, that's my only zonk. So Nick Billet Technology. If you have a way to opt out this fitting to be the powder coat black, so the brass doesn't show, I can still see it. But, I mean, unless you're looking for it, I guess from this angle, you wouldn't see it. So if you're looking dead on, head on, you don't see it, but now it's fully installed. So shout out to Nick Billet Technology, and Heidi. It's looking good. It's looking good. Let's see on the other side here. Oh, yeah, look at that. No rust, no fuss. Looks just, I want it to black to match this, but that's all going to go away soon because once we start installing the rest of the engine bling, we got a whole bunch of bling that's coming up in the next video. The oil catch can install is now officially complete. So without further ado, again, get your fitting in here. That looks good to go. Get your fitting in there. That's good to go. And then you have your nut. Where's it right? Come on, camera. You can dive in there. You can dive in there. See that? There's the other nut. Good to go. All right. So without further ado, let me switch cameras. Give you my final thoughts. So let's just one more time look at our install. Very nice, very nice. It's looking good. It's looking good. Awesome. All right. Final thoughts time. And one other thought here before we go into final thoughts. The one thing I do like about this setup and the way I opted out everything is that it looks stock. That's the other thing too. It's like, yeah, it's an aftermarket thing and it's not part of what you would get in a stock vehicle. But if you look at the satin finish really goes well with the other pieces within. Like, I mean, this is as close to satin as you can get, and it wasn't intended that this line actually is part of the Trackhawk and it's part of the Durango Hellcat. It's not part of the Charger or Challenger Hellcat. This is not as pronounced, but it knows that it really goes well with the the color of it really goes well. It looks like it's matching the vehicle and it's not aftermarket. It looks like it was part of the vehicle from Mopar. In addition to that, the braided hoses look really, really nice. The black goes really well with all the other hoses that in the same color. Another thing that's nice, the fittings here go well with all the other black pieces. That it's basically all you have is black and the satin finish. You don't have any brass. I don't see any brass under here. That's why I didn't want to go with the brass. And as far as the covers being the finished, satin finished covers for the hose, I mean, it's just a cleaner look. Or else you would have the hose which would be cut off and you would see where it was sliced. So I don't know if there's an example of which I can show you. See, they have a lot of these covers here that kind of covers that up. So when a hose goes in here, you don't get to see the snip. But this is the cover that snip, because it's somewhat, maybe it's not perfectly even. So it covers everything up and it really finishes off nice. So it's finished off there, it's finished off there, it's finished off there, and it's finished off here. It's like the attention to detail. That's what I was looking for. It looks stock. It's a functional piece. It's aftermarket, but it looks stock, and that's what I love about it. So without further ado, that's it. And well, now let's go to the other camera, and now we'll talk about some final thoughts. Final thoughts time, final thoughts time, final thoughts time. Yes. Hope you enjoyed the install of the Billet Technologies oil catch can. Yes, it's now fully installed on the Dodge Durango Hellcat. It's good to go, ready to do its job in catching the oil vapor that comes from the valve cover, prevents it going into the intake. So that is a cool thing. We got that done. We wanted to do it after the first oil change, and now the install is complete. So I'm very happy with that. So again, we got to see all of the things that we were wanting to do in this project. We had to refurbish a little bit of the oil catch can because it was from the Dodge Charger Hellcat. If you get a brand new one, you wouldn't have to worry about that. But the only difference between using the brand new one or using the one I used is the only difference was me replacing that nut and then having all the braided hoses already connected with the fittings, which they are in pieces when you order it from Billet Tech. You have to put all those things together. But like I said before, if you want to know how to install all those pieces, the hoses onto the oil catch can, definitely check out my video, either the Trackhawk video or the Dodge Charger Hellcat, on how those pieces get put together. But this video is specifically to show you how to install the oil catch can on the Dodge Durango Hellcat, because as you can see, it's slightly different than if you did when I did it for the Dodge Charger Hellcat. And actually, it's a lot different because of the space. There's a lot less space in the Dodge Charger Hellcat. There's also a lot less space in a Dodge Challenger Hellcat. So you got to see how that's installed on my Dodge Charger Hellcat, and then of course you got to see how it's installed on the Trackhawk. And this video is now specific to how you install it on a Dodge Durango Hellcat, which is really cool because you have a lot more room. I didn't have to use the open-ended wrench. I could actually use a socket wrench, which is, again, I could probably have gotten away with using the socket in the Trackhawk, but at the time I didn't have the socket set up for the Trackhawk at the time, and I just used the open-ended wrench. It was just there. We did it really quick. But this way, at least you know, it would have taken a lot longer if I did the open-ended wrench versus the socket. And as you saw, the socket worked. I didn't even have to use the extension. It worked perfectly. No hoses were in the way. No belts were in the way. Nothing was in my way. No radiator, no nothing. Everything was perfect. Everything is perfect. We got it installed. It looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, you can definitely tell it's part of the engine. It looks stock. That's my other final thought, that it looks stock. All the colors that I did, because that's my intent. I want it to look like it was part of the engine bay. I didn't want it to look aftermarket. You can go with those colors. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing the colors. If you have a black interior, you can go black, and I think it would look perfectly fine. Others, if they have a B5 blue car, do B5 blue. If you have a Destroyer gray, I think, my personal opinion, if you have a Destroyer gray, Dodge Charger Hellcat, Dodge Challenger Hellcat, Trackhawk and Stingray, or the Destroyer gray in the Dodge Durango Hellcat, Brian, this is for you, buddy. Get it in Destroyer gray. It'll look perfect. Get all the pieces, all the Billet Tech in Destroyer gray would look perfect. For me, in the Dodge Durango Hellcat, because I have the black with the silver stripes, this again ties into that silver stripe thing where we don't want to put too much color in here. We just want to dress it up to make it look as stock as possible. And I think that the satin finish works great for me. But again, you can go with those colors if you'd like. It'll look just as good. The key is Billet Tech, Billet Tech, Billet Tech. The other cool thing again is that it's off to the side. It fits perfectly here. It's not going to impede on the supercharger side, because I know there's another oil catch can company that actually has it where this is up and down and the oil catch can sits about here. I don't like that. It gets in the way of that bypass valve cover, which we're going to be using for our next project. It's going to be Billet Tech engine bling for the Dodge Durango Hellcat. That video is next. So without further ado, oil catch can is now installed. It's now completed. You got to see it step by step, including the refurb. The refurb was a bonus. I was going to do the refurb as a separate video. I said, nah, we'll just put it in the same video. It would be cool. So without further ado, and with all that being said, those are my final thoughts. With all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy the video, please hit the thumbs up, please hit the thumbs up, please hit the thumbs up. I truly would appreciate it. Also, put a comment or two. Let me know. Hey, do you have an oil catch can in your Hemi? Do you have a Hemi? Do you own the 5.7 liter Hemi, 6.4 liter Hemi, Hellcat engine? Do you have any of those options? Are you interested in getting an oil catch can? Do you have an oil catch can? Please put a comment or two. Let me know if you have an oil catch can, if you use Billet Tech, if you use another company, how you like it, because I'm always up for any comments that you have. Always like to chat with you. I love reading your comments, and I always respond to all your comments. So please put a comment or two. We'd love to hear back from you. We also have other things going on with, there's also a second oil catch can. It's for the crankcase in the back. You could also add that if you want to. I don't know if I'm going to do that with this yet. We'll have to wait and see. That might be a future project, but for right now, the one in the front is perfect. It looks great. So definitely put a comment or two. Let me know what your setup is like. Do you use the one oil catch can? Do you use the two oil catch cans? Do you use a different setup altogether? Let me know in the comments section below. And I always respond to all my comments, and I look forward to hearing from you and responding back. Also, share the video with everyone you know. Share. Yes, you can put an oil catch can in a Dodge Durango Hellcat, and it looks and works just like if you did it for your Dodge Charger Hellcat, your Dodge Challenger Hellcat, or your Trackhawk. Share the video with everyone you know that has any of those vehicles, any Mopar V8, anyone with a Hemi. Definitely share this video with everyone you know and tell them, watch this video, and you can see how easy it is to install the oil catch can and how good it looks after it's installed. So definitely share the video. And last but not least, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. We are now in the middle of doing all the Dodge Durango Hellcat mods. I would love for you to be part of the family and then take this journey with me, the Dodge Durango Hellcat journey, because we have a lot more mods left to go. This is just the beginning. Again, we've already done the WeatherTech. We've already done the Lux Tint. Now we're starting with Billet Technology stuff. We probably have 1 or 2 more videos on Billet Tech, because I have a box that I just received from Billet Tech, and I want to get that unboxed and installed right away. That might be the next video. We're going to do some engine bling. We have all these billet pieces that are specific to the Dodge Durango Hellcat. I cannot wait to do the installation. So that is going to be next. And I want you to know about it when I launch that video. So definitely hit that subscribe button, tap the bell notification, be part of the family, and you'll be sure to be notified on the next video when I post it. So without further ado, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let's not forget all my current subscribers. Thank you for all my current subscribers. I do truly appreciate your love and support of the channel. We've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. First with the Dodge Charger Hellcat, then the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, which we still have, and we have more mods yet to go. And now we have this great journey with the Dodge Durango Hellcat that's just started. So I'm glad that you're part of the family for all those vehicles. And now all the new subscribers will be part of that journey as well. So definitely thank you again for all my current subscribers. I really truly appreciate you. So with all that being said, this video is now over. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. It is a nice cloudy overcast day in New Jersey. Can't complain. It's awesome out. Perfect day to do these mods. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Also, be safe out there. Be safe, be safe, be safe. And also, peace to all of you. So that reminds me, we always have to do peace out. We always do peace out. And we always do it SRT mush style. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Peace, 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 peace. Thanks again for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe out there. Be safe, be safe. Peace to all of you. And we'll catch you. We'll catch you in the next video, which definitely we're going to continue our billet tech journey. We're going to do another billet technologies engine bling video. We did the oil catch can. Now we're going to be doing some engine bling. We're going to get all this cool billet technologies, engine compartment, engine bay covers for the Dodge Durango Hellcat. So definitely, we're looking forward to that video. You should look forward to it as well. So that is the next video, and we'll catch you on it. So let's do one last piece before we go, and then we know how we do it. Here we go. We go 1, 2, 3.
This is the last call for your hands to grab the wheel of a current generation Charger or Challenger. The last call for your foot to feel the rumble. And the last call for your heart to leap into your throat. Get yours before they're gone.